Hi, today I'm going to be teaching a division algorithm. So the problem is there 624 divided by 13, and so we need to set it up in the algorithm. So we put the dividend in the inside, and then we put the divisor on the outer side. So the 13 is supposed to represent the number of groups, and then the 624 is supposed to represent the total amount, and the unknown amount that you're solving for is the number in each group. And we could represent this using the base 10 blocks. So I modeled it out over here. So there's 6 100s, and then there's 2 10s, and then there's 4 1s. And numerically, the 600s would be 600, the 2 10s would be 20, and then the 4 1s would be 4. So if you add that all together, you get 624. So the first step is to take the first place value, which is 600s, and see if that can be broken down into 13 equal groups, but it can't. So what we have to do is we can indicate that with a 0. So it would be 13, which is the number of groups, times 0, which is the number in each group, equals 0. So 600s minus 0 equals 600s. So our model doesn't change at all. And then the second step is to then bring down the 2. And when we say bring down the 2, we really mean that we need to regroup. So we need to regroup 600s into 6010s, and then we can add the original 2 down to get 6210s. And that's what we mean by bringing down the 2. It's really bringing down the original 2 and regrouping. And this way, now we could break up the 62 into the 13 groups, while we couldn't do that with the 600s. So in the third step, we can then break up the 62 into 13 groups. And according to this model, we find that you get 13 groups of 4 10s. So you can indicate that on the algorithm by putting a 4 up here and then the 13. So you would get 13, which is the number of groups, times 4, which is the number in each group, is equal to 52 10s. So you could do 62 10s minus 52 10s, and you get 10 10s, which is the remaining 10s. And the 10 10s are the leftover that couldn't be put into the 13 groups. So since 10 10s can't be divided equally into 13 groups, we need to again bring down the 4. And when we bring down the 4, we actually mean that we need to regroup 10 10s into 100 1s, and then add the 4 original ones to get 104 1s, which we can then indicate on the algorithm over here. And so now we can divide the 104 1s into the 13 equal groups, while we couldn't do that with the 10 10s. So then the fifth step is to actually then take the 104 1s and divide them into 13 equal groups. And on this model, you can see that there's 13 groups of 8 1s using the 104 1s. So there's the 13 groups, and then there's the 8 in each group. And you can indicate that on the algorithm by putting the 8 on top of the 4 and then next to the other 4. So it would be the 13, which is the number of groups, times the 8, which is the number in each group, is equal to 104 1s. So you would do 104 1s minus 104 ones is equal to 0 ones. So that means we don't have a remainder, or we have a remainder of 0 ones, which means that our answer is 48. And now you finish the problem and know how to solve an algorithm in division.